but her smile gave her away. "You were frowning," Akash noted, settling into his chair. "You're engineering something." This was his favourite euphemism for her rigid type A sensibility. She supposed he was right, just a little. Kiran handwrote notes in a planner. She was the fixer of off-centre pictures hanging on the wall, even when it wasn't her place. She was level 10 flustered when the presentation was interrupted by a question before its designated Q&A time. "I wasn't engineering anything, yaar. I was zoning out and people watching. It's what I do when you guys leave me in peace." "Like you'd know what to do with any kind of peace," he replied. Kiran laughed. "You know me well, Obi-Wan." "I think I died and went to heaven." Akash clutched his heart. "You finally made a Star Wars reference." Kiran and Akash slapped a high five as Sonam chuckled. "Should we order?" asked Sonam. "Payal isn't here yet," Akash and Kiran reminded her in unison. "We get the same thing every time. It's not like we have to wait for her approval," Sonam grumbled. On cue, the waitress arrived, one Kiran recognized from the group's countless outings to this cafe. "4 chais?" She didn't bother to note anything on her pad. All three affirmed their orders and she went on her way. Minutes later, the door opened with a gust of wind. Payal followed close behind. Her long hair remained immaculately curled around her heart-shaped face despite the breeze, and her dark eyes, which always made Kiran think of Princess Jasmine, were lined with kohl so pristine one would think she was born with doe eyes. A pop of red lipstick to her thin lips was the only colour in an otherwise neutral outfit. A cream blazer over a black sheath dress without a trace of lint to be seen. "Hello there," she cheerfully chirped in her British accent, then set her bag on the chair Akash pulled out for her, unwrapped the expensive-looking cream scarf from around her neck, Hermes, Kiran noted, and took her seat, crossing her legs underneath the table. "Are you ever on time?" Sonam asked. "Well, you know what they say, fashionably late." Payal dismissed the age-old complaint with a casual wave of her hand. "I had a client." Akash thanked the waitress as she placed their drinks in front of them, then turned to his friends. "Okay, Sonam, go first." "Can I order some food before we start?" she asked. "I could eat the butt of a skunk right now." Akash snorted with laughter, while Payal crinkled her delicately pointed nose. Kiran giggled. "Where do you even come up with expressions like that?" "Ah, Miss India," Sonam said, with an overdone stereotypical Indian accent. "If you'd grown up here, perhaps you would have heard it." "I never would have said it. That's gross." Kiran matched Payal's disgusted expression. Sonam smiled, clearly proud she had elicited the reaction she'd hoped for. As the others stirred their chai, adding enough sugar to put someone into a diabetic coma, Payal, or letting it cool off until it reached, by straight-up Indian standards anyway, an unacceptable level of lukewarm rather than burning hot, Akash, Kiran gazed at the three of them. She was truly home. No burden, no worry. "Okay, can I say how nice it is to meet in person again instead of on Zoom?" Kiran said. "You've said it every time we've met, but to be fair, seeing all of your normal and unfiltered faces in person is a treat. Or maybe the fresh air is getting to me," Akash said. "It's really nice to see the city come alive again," Sonam said. "I yelled at an asshole who catcalled me on the subway today, and it felt like we were back to normal." They laughed. "And now that we're all here," Payal started. "You mean now that you're finally here?" Sonam asked. "Yes." Payal reached into the Chanel bag next to her feet. "I was cleaning out last season's clothes to donate to Goodwill, and I discovered my box of college memories. You know, all those photos that are never allowed to see the light of day from our dorm room days. And look what else I found." She produced a few battered sheets of paper, folded into quarters, and put them at the center of the table.